I think your fans are a little dirty. Almighty. Every now and then you ought to take this thing outside and take an air hose to it and blow it out. Those are probably no good anymore, but I'll check them out. Okay. There's a few things going on here that I'm not real sure about. Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just to jumper the ground over. But this is a 7812 voltage regulator. It's taking the input off of the positive leg, and then we got the output of the 12 volts on this black lead, and I've got a little red lead coming to ground, which is backwards of the way it ought to be. I'm not real sure what's going on there, but I've got the amplifier off the back of the radio, and I still haven't found anything rattling around or anything popped. I know you said you heard a pop. I'll be damned if I can find anything that popped. I'm getting ready to put power on it and turn it on, but I wanted to look it over before I did that. I'm just going to hook DC power up to it. The thing is filthy, buddy. Okay, well, I do see something. I'm seeing the same size leads coming over here to the meters, but that doesn't make any sense. Why would you run? Okay, they just happen to use the same size wire. That's all that is. So I got to figure out where those go. And they're coming up in here. Looks like going to right there. Kind of recorder. Alright. That's probably a factory afterthought. And the double-sided tape come loose on your relay here. I'll have to fix that, but like I said, I haven't found anything popped. No capacitors popped. None of them even swelled up. Now I'm going to upgrade that one and that one. Okay. And just looking it over, it looks pretty good inside. It's nothing but a 3600 chassis. Probably a 13B or 14B. But that part looks pretty good. And you had asked if I can change the LEDs on this. Yes, I do have blue LEDs. I can make the whole thing blue if you want it. I can either put blue in the meters or white. I would recommend putting white in the meters. Blue ones, you can't read everything that well. But anyway, continuing on. Somebody's been busy doing some things back here. This don't look right. And over here, I think this thing had 2 finals at one time. All those parts taken out of there. It's a bipolar chassis. Still, I haven't found anything popped open, bust. Like it popped. I'm still looking. Okay, now, this is why I don't like coming in behind somebody else. Why just cut these and leave them sticking there? How much longer would it take you to put a piece of heat shrink over the end of the damn thing? That's just, things like that pisses me off. Alright, continuing on. Okay, there was some white spooge on there. Haven't checked the transistors yet, but that's all that's left. need to check them. The problem is in the amplifier. If I hook the amplifier up to the radio, it immediately blows the fuse. But if I just fire up the radio, I'm not getting all the output power out of it. I should, but it doesn't blow the fuse. So I'm thinking maybe we got a bad transistor or a marginal transistor, probably the final, and I'm thinking it got taken out by one of these two guys. So there's even dust on this thing, and it was underneath the cover. I'm going to pull these out and test them, see if they're good. The little 10 ohm resistors are still good though, so I kind of suspect these two guys are okay. So, scratching my head here. Alright, more to come. Okay, Chris. I forgot I put that one back on there, but I've replaced this one. I had a used one that was still good, so I put it in place with this one. You can see this resistor is burnt, got real hot. I need to replace that resistor too. I was going to do that before I soldered the damn thing back in place and forgot it. But you can see this feedback resistor got hot, and that normally means an imbalance, but I couldn't find anything until I took this guy out and tested it. It was first, I got lucky, the first one I checked, and it wasn't totally dead, but if you'd have keyed it one or two more times, it would have been. I think the gain on it was like a one or two. This one checked fine. He's got about 26 HFE, 26 gain. That resistor didn't get hot, so I left him in there, and I replaced this one with a used one that I had that had about the same gain as this one. Okay, so you should be good there. I got to find out the value of this cap and replace that, and I think, yeah, and I got to replace that resistor too. Then I think we're going to be good to go. Okay. Well, I found what was rattling around in the radio. This thing right here. I haven't found where it came from yet, but somebody sure cut that damn thing out. The leads on it have been cut. I was getting ready to build some more feedback circuits because of that one burnt resistor, and I wanted to put some flame retardant resistors in there in place of them. But yeah, see those pins right there? They've been cut. The two back ones and the front one. So, not sure what that's all about. This guy here was supposed to be a 470 microfarad, 25 volt. So I've upgraded him to a 1000 25 volt. I would have put a 2200 in there, but I didn't think it would clear the cover that goes over this. So I did double the value though and went to a 1000. So that's going to give you a little more filtering. Okay, everything else checks good. I'm going to send you an email because I noticed in your note it said that these guys were old and might be tired. Well, you're kind of right about that. I had to replace this one because the HFE on it was down to a 1 or 2, something like that. It was real low, almost non-existent. This one still had about 20, 25, 26 HFE. That's on my DCA, testing it with my DCA 75. I probably have no damn idea what that is. This thing. Okay. So when I tested it, it was like 25 or 26. Well, I had a used one that was 28. So I took the bad one out, put this one in place of it. I put some new heatsink compound, of course, underneath everything. That's where I'm at. You know, I'm still cleaning things on the radio. God, that thing was filthy. I've got your heatsink cleaned up. Still need to do a little bit with it. Still a little bit of dust I need to get off of there. I got the fans cleaned up. What did I do with the fans? I set them where they could dry. But continuing on, more to come. Okay, here's the fans now. You owe me about $100 in damn electrical cleaner. But I got to test them. Oops. Messing with my... These are 100 volt capacitors. They're dipped ceramic, they're called. Got these from Mauser. But they're 104s, 100 volts. I thought that was pretty cool. Look how small they are. I'll tell you. They just keep improving things and making stuff smaller. Pretty soon I ain't going to be able to see any of it. I'm not sure if you've seen the inside of those new, like the AT6666. Some of those components on that board look like gnat poop. I mean, they are super tiny. I have to have a magnifying glass just to read the damn part number. But anyway, I'm making some new feedback circuits because I wanted to use the flame retardant resistors instead of those other type resistors that were in there. You saw how that other one had turned brown. It was getting hot. And that was on the side that had the transistor that was failing. Okay. I think I got it. Replaced all the electrolytics in the audio section. All of them. So it's not doing it now. I think it was that little brown one right there that was causing all the trouble. So it's working. This thing had come loose. That double-sided tape had quit working and let it fall down. I don't know what kind of tape it was, but I used automotive trim double-sided tape to put it back on there. That stuff doesn't come off on the automobiles. Alright, got a few more upgrades to do inside here, and start putting the amplifier back on. Almost there, buddy. I'm taking these, the used one and your old one, the one that was still good, out. Well, still working anyway. There's the two new ones. Getting ready to install them. I got to get the feedback circuits removed. Okay, got the old ones out. Getting ready to put the new ones in. Make sure nothing got down inside those pockets. These little amplifiers that they put on the back of these things were really very, very clever. More to come. New ones are in. Putting it back together. Going back together. Oh, it's a heavy bastard. There's all the wires, and in case anybody ever has to take it apart again, I numbered the pins so that, and numbered the wires so that it's easy to hook it back up. And you asked me to put blue LEDs in this. I can tell you from experience that blue LEDs don't work too well in black face meters. If you had white face meters in there, that would work okay, but black face meters, they don't work too good. I recommend that we go with white LEDs. I'll shoot you an email here real quick and see if you want me to still want me to put blues in there. thing draws so much current just coming on, I couldn't put it on my bench, plug it into my bench. I had to run a heavy-duty power cord over to a power tap just so it would come on. The only thing that I'm concerned with, the on-air light is on, even though we're not transmitting. I don't even have a microphone plugged into it. So I'm going to need to figure that out. Alright, still got some things to do to it. But you can clearly hear there's no thumping. That problem's been remedied. Not by those caps in the audio section, unfortunately. It was something in the power supply, a capacitor in the, actually on the amp board. So as soon as I replaced that capacitor, it stopped acting up. Alright, more to come. Another problem I have discovered, that should be about 13.8 volts. So your voltage regulator coming out of your power supply is bad. Now I got to troubleshoot which part of it is bad. I'm measuring it right inside the radio there. So I need to turn it off real quick. Don't want to keep putting that much voltage inside the radio or you won't have a radio left. More to come. It just gets better and better. Red and blue leads shorted. So neither one of these two are any good. One of them, this one acts like a diode, which means that two of the junctions are good, but the other one is open. This one, both leads are shorted. The two center leads there are shorted, and so it wouldn't even give me a reading on the collector. So those are 2N3771s. Okay, I think I should be able to find those, but look at what they did. The leads were not thick enough to go through this heat sink, so they added looks like clip-off leads from a resistor or something on there to make it all the way through the board. I guess you do what you got to do, but yeah, power supply is foobar. Okay, more to come. Okay, the ones out of the radio that are bad are 2N3771s. Okay, so what I've got in stock are 2N5302s. This is what I normally use to repair power supplies because the current and voltage handling capability of these is better than these or the 3055s that most of them come in with. So I'm going to put these better ones in there. Okay. Okay. Got the new transistors installed for the power supply. You can see I put plenty of heatsink compound on there. I hate having to use that shit because it just gets everywhere, but you gotta have it. You gotta get good heat transfer. So they're all soldered and bolted back in. Now I'm getting ready to check out the little regulator board because I'm pretty sure that one of these two are bad also. So more to come. It thinks this one is a 3-terminal bicolor LED. I don't think so. And it thinks that this one is a common anode diode network. So what that tells me that both of these are bad. I'm going to take them out of the circuit and test them, but I want to make sure. Okay, new ones are in. New ones are in. Here are the old ones. Turns out that was a 7808 voltage regulator. So I replaced it with a new one. Got a new Motorola 7808, and also replaced the PNP transistor, the B754, with a TIP 36, which handles more current than the 754. So we upgraded it a little bit. Okay. Let me put it all back together and see if we got voltage control. Now that's what we're supposed to be seeing. And what I've done, I disconnected the power hot lead from the radio board. Okay, and I've got it soldered to a test lead, which I've got plugged into the meter there. Okay, so got the power supply regulator working again. And 13.4, that's pretty good right there. Now let me continue my alignment, because that was really throwing me off. I kept thinking, what the hell? And as soon as I went to look for voltage to hook up the LEDs, it became painfully obvious. I was able to adjust it right out using the adjustment. Before, the adjustment would not do anything. So there are your new transistors. Voltage regulator's got the new transistor, new voltage regulator built into it. And I was able to set it right on 13.8. So I'm going to hook it back up to the radio now and continue on. Alright, got the power supply fixed, got the radio put back together. And when I went to test the RF output, I get nothing. That is a 100 watt slug. That's a 100 watt slug. Meter on the left. Nothing. You can see we go into transmit. The radio's not doing anything. So I'm thinking, oh no, what am I going to find now? Anyway, I got to check the finals. See if we're putting out any juice at all. Make sure they got voltage going to them, etc., etc. I'll be back. Okay, when I did the last little video, I was in sideband, not in AM. So now I'm in AM, and I am getting a little wiggle on the meter. Alright, should be more than that. Not only that, but when I key the radio, the damn meter lights get dim. These are LEDs, they shouldn't do that, which means something is pulling them down. More troubleshooting. God damn it. I'll be back. I discovered the amplifier is not keying up. The relay will chatter, but it won't key up. I'm looking for things out of place now. That's the coax cable going out to the amp, and then we come back in from the amp to the antenna connector. So if I disconnect power to the amplifier, then I get a little bit of wattage out just from the radio. Anyway, I'm still troubleshooting. So, gotta get back into the amplifier, which means this damn thing's gotta come back off. The way this little amp works is when the radio is keyed, you get 8 volts right there to key the relay. The relay is not keying. Let me get the switch up here. If I can find it. Okay, I'm seeing 8 volts. To switch the relay doesn't switch. It's not switching in and out. Radio's going into transmit, but you never hear that relay click. So, consequently, no output from the amplifier. It just gets better and better. I'll be back. I wanted to check something, and I did. We are not getting any output at all from the radio. I've got this cable here connected through this adapter to the output coax from the radio, this little piece right here, which is the input to the amplifier. Okay, it's the output for the radio. I've got it hooked up to my B&K. I'm going to key the radio. I've got it in FM now. And I'm on the 10-watt scale, and I have no output. None. And I think I checked the voltages going to the finals. We had the voltage there. And I've tried turning the RF power control inside the radio up and down. So I don't think the finals are bad. I think there's something else wrong. So I'll put this back together and get back into the radio. This part's okay. I told you that the little voltage regulator protected your radio. And while it's true it did protect most of your radio, it didn't protect all of it. I'm on lower sideband, channel 20. I've got the tone going on my B&K, and I've got a monitor radio on channel 20. So you can see that. This is what it's doing. And watch your meter lights. I don't know if you can see them that way or not. They are pulsating with that noise. So there's something else wrong inside this thing. That 24 volts obviously got into the transmitter section. I suspect that guy, but I'm not absolutely sure. So, more troubleshooting. I guess this is where I should send you an email. Probably ought to put this video together and send it to you. And see if you want me to continue, because we've already passed what you initially paid. I don't know how much further you want me to go or how much more you want to spend on this thing. But, you know, you'd sent enough to cover, I think it was 3 hours. And I'm about twice that now. So. Okay. I figured out what it is. The transformer is bad. Obviously it has some shorted connections inside. So it was giving us our voltage, but it cannot support the current. Right now I have power, a couple of leads soldered to the bottom of the PC board for the radio. Okay, going to that little power supply right there. I've got the amplifier disconnected from it. Okay. All I am is on the radio right now. Hello, hello, audio, hello, hello, audio. Okay. There's obviously things I gotta fix, like the meter's not registering any RF power. But if you look over here, audio, audio. I've got pretty good RF power. Let me put that back on ×1. Audio, 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 audio. So that's about, roughly about 12 watts RMS and about 40 watts peak just off the radio. So the finals appear to be good. But if I try to hook the internal power supply back up, even with the amplifier disconnected, it does that buzzing sound I just showed you. So this guy here is bad. You saw that I replaced the transistors on the back for the power supply. They carry more than enough current. I also replaced both that little 7808 voltage regulator and the main current carrying transistor with one that carries more current, but the transformer just can't supply the current anymore. I don't know what these things sell for, but I'm sure they're not cheap. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to bypass this power supply that's in here and connect like some 8 AWG cable to the radio and the amplifier, just to verify that everything works on the other side of the transformer. Because without the transformer in, with this power supply here disconnected, you can see I've got the wire disconnected right there, floating up in the air. Got those other two wires connected to the board. With that connected, it's working good. Audio, hello, hello, audio. Turn the volume up a little bit so you can hear it. Audio, audio, hello, hello, audio. Audio 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And of course it's off frequency. Let's see, let me dial that in a little better. And bump the clarifier. Let's see how much closer it is now. Yeah, that's right on right there. Audio, hello, hello, audio. Audio 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The radio is working fine now on that external power supply up there. Of course, that power supply don't carry enough current. Neither one of the meters are working. Okay, but I can show you that the radio is putting out power. So I'll need to find out why these meters are not working. Hopefully that 24 volts didn't destroy the meters. If so, I might have some more, but I'll need to find out. Don't need to keep the microphone keyed. That's where I'm at. So I'm getting close. I don't know what we're going to do about that transformer. I don't even know if those damn things are still available. I know that the newer ones went to switching power supplies. So we may wind up doing something like that. Either that or, getting you like a 50 amp or 100 amp external. Anyway, let me wire in some 8 AWG connections and run it direct to this guy down here or this guy up here and see what we'll get. something I didn't show you was that I bypassed the amplifier section. This is the old coax that they just had cut off and stuck up in the back there, that used to go to the antenna connector up here, but they had just cut this off and stuck it in the back of the radio because they wired in this what is it, 316, I think. It comes off the main board, takes the place of that one, and goes into the amplifier, and then the output from the amplifier, which is that one right there, goes to this connector on the back. So to bypass it all, I just took this coax cable that did go to there and ran it to another SO239 so I could do my testing, just to make sure. Now we're cooking with grease. I got it hooked up to this power supply, 75 amp power supply. I have a 250 watt slug on the RMS side, which will be reading on that top scale. I have a 500 watt slug on the peak side, which will be reading on that center scale. Where it says 30 is 300 watts peak. I am on AM, got RF power turned all the way up. Audio, hello, hello, audio. You see I got your dead key turned way back. We're only keying up about 30 watts, but the needle's moving forward. And look at that swing. Audio. That's about 350 watts of swing. So, and you noticed the LEDs are not dimming now, even at full power. So that was your problem there, buddy. And I don't have no idea what one of these costs, or even if I can find one again. If you just want to run an external power supply, I can probably mount a connector on the back here, and we can do it that way, or I can just solder these wires in here and drill a hole and run through there, and I don't think you'd want to do that though. But anyway, let me shoot you this video real quick. You tell me what you want me to do. And I got the fans all clean, ready to go back on there. I just got them sitting down here out of the way because I had to take that damn amplifier section off so many times, off and on. Okay. All right. Damn. All that work fixing the power supply, and the damn transformer's bad. That sucks. More to come. And I was just curious how much amperage it's pulling at full power on sideband. Sideband pulls more current than AM. The top scale there is the one we're reading on. Audio, audio, audio. So that's about 20 amps right there. At 13.9. And we were getting almost 400 or 350 watts out of this thing at 13.9 or 13.8. You know, it floats right around there. So what I'm thinking is that you could make do. I've got some 30 amp switchers, so they should handle running this thing without any problem. They're pyramid 30 amp power supplies. You know what, I wonder if one of them would fit inside this cabinet where this thing is, and the caps and all that stuff. I'll have to check that out, but I'll send you the video and let you decide what you want me to do. Okay. You can see what I did. I took a Ranger chassis plug and plugged all the stuff in it for the amp and the radio. This would normally be mounted on the back of a Ranger radio, one of the ones with the amplifiers underneath it. One of the smaller ones, like the 200 watt one. So all I did was plug those into that, and then solder the connections to a Anderson power pole so I could plug it into that power supply. Alright, got the meters working. Hello, audio. Okay, and I did check the signal meter. I have to hook it to a different piece of coax, and I'm not going to do that right now, but the signal meter's working fine. What I'm about to do now is extend it up. You told me which bands you wanted, so I need to change the crystal to get it to go up, because it's at the high point now with the crystal that's in there. So I'll be back. Okay, we know that the radio and the amp together pull 20 amps. I have a 30 amp switching supply that I think I can make fit in this cavity where this big transformer is. If so, then that will take care of the power supply problem. So, time to get to work. Okay, got all of that out of there. Voltage regulator, the AC filter board is out, and I'm ready to put this guy in. I've got holes drilled for it already, so he'll set in here just like that. I'll have to build a bracket to go from there to here. Okay, and then we wired up there in the back. Okay, I took the faceplate off to see about getting the switch out so I can wire the AC up to it. It was switching DC, but now I'm going to have the DC coming right off the power supply, and I want this guy here to switch the AC. And when I took the cover off, I found that instead of sticking in the hole like it was supposed to, it was all bent down like that. So also the lead was soldered directly to DC power, so that's why it was always on. It shouldn't always be on. This wire right here, I believe, is the one that's supposed to go to it to activate it when you key the microphone. So I'll straighten all that out. Okay, got the new supply in there. Got it mounted on this bracket with 2 screws. Right there and right there. Okay, I'm going to build another one, like an L-shaped bracket, to come off of this and go over here to steady it up. Of course, it's pretty damn stout right there. But of course, with a cover on it, you won't hear this. But watch this. Meter on the left is RMS. I'm on AM. Meter on the left is RMS. Meter on the right is peak. Meter on the right is, we're reading on that center scale. 30 is 300. Meter on the left, we're reading on the top scale, because the RMS has a 250 watt slug, peak has a 500 watt slug. Alright, I'm on AM. I believe RF power's all the way up. I don't have the face on, so I can't know for sure. Audio. Hello, audio. Your lights ain't dimming or anything. Audio. Now, it's in the SWR position, I think, because I got the knobs flipped down when I came off of it. Let's see, how do I switch to sideband? Okay, that's lower side. audio. Hang on a second. Okay, sorry about that. Got where I couldn't talk there for a second. But it's working really well. I mean, I need to put the faceplate back on it, but I wanted to clean it up back there first. And, you know, the LEDs, those white LEDs, look good in those meters. And I want to fix this. Set it up so that it comes on when you key the radio like it's supposed to. It's a transmit light, not a power light. You can tell the power's on when you turn it on because you'll see all the stuff light up. But like I said, I wired the AC through the front panel switch. So your front panel switch switches AC going to the new 30 amp supply. Okay. And DC to the radio and to the amp are connected direct to the output of the power supply. And these things here, you can get them, they're relatively inexpensive as compared to that transformer. And it does 30 amps. And I tested last night, and this little guy here with the 2290s only pulls 20 amps. According to that meter up there. It only pulls 20 amps. Now I'll verify that, but it don't seem to be struggling at all to drive this thing more than what it was driving it last night. It's like the voltage is staying up there. Yeah, I'm not set up where I can film that and show you the voltages too. Here, let me do this. Set you on my little toolbox thingy there. Alright. Let me get where I can touch the wires to the ground and to the positive. You can see we're at 13.8. Audio 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. It drops just a tiny little bit and then comes right back up. Hello audio 1 2 1 2 audio. We're swinging to all the way to 400 watts according to that meter. Okay, let's try sideband again. Hello audio hello audio. Didn't drop below 13.8, so it's got plenty of oomph for the radio. Okay. Alright, I'm going to start buttoning it up, cleaning things up, tidying up the wires, that kind of thing. Dressing the wires, I guess would be a better word. I didn't have to touch any of this up here, so we're good there. And, well, anyway, let me start putting it back together. More to come. I found out why it was in such a mess. They lifted the run on it. Where the wire connects, is supposed to connect. They lifted the run on it, connected the wire direct to the diode, but they used a diode, an LED, whose leads were corroded. So they probably had a hell of a time soldering to that. Anyway, that's all getting replaced. I think that's a little better. I actually got the proper standoff behind the LED and I switched it to a blue LED. So when you key the radio, the blue LED will light up. Okay, one thing I wanted to show you. This meter is not setting on 0. I mean, I thought maybe it was just a static charge because when I put my finger on it, it moves closer to 0, but even after it's been sitting there for a while, it doesn't go down. So I can put my thumb on it and it'll go down, but that ain't the way it's supposed to work. And there's your nice blue transmit LED. Okay, and also I'm centering up this clarifier control. Before, when it was at center in the notch, it was at like 12:30, almost 1 o'clock. So I loosened it up, moved it over, twisted it, held it in the back, tightened it back up. I used a little marker there to make a line where the notch was. So now that'll be at 12 o'clock when you're on center frequency. Okay, and this, I'm pretty sure is where the headphones were, but you can see it sticks out quite a bit further than the rest of the controls. So if you want to get controls that are knobs that match the rest of the knobs, you can order a set of knobs for a Galaxy 2517, the clarifier knob. Alright, getting ready to put the face back on it. More to come. Okay, got the face all back on it, all bolted down, got all the knobs back on, all the switch knobs back on. I'm getting ready now to do a receiver test on it on this frequency to make sure that sensitivity is as good as it is on the other. And we'll see the difference. This is what it sounds like on channel 1. And then if we go all the way up there, the receiver gets kind of quiet. So, more to come. Okay, we got our new power supply supported in the front on this side of this bracket. It was a computer bracket for the slim cases to mount, I think it was a Wi-Fi card in a slim case. I had a tall case, so I didn't need it, but it worked out great to do that. And that thing is supported now. It ain't going to go anywhere. So I got the 2 screws in this big bracket over here on the side, and then we got a small screw down there at the foot of that, and the screw here. So good to go. All right, putting the covers on it. Okay, there it is, buddy. All done, working perfectly. That meter settled down and went back to 1, so I think it was just static electricity that was causing that. So it's working like it ought to. And hello, audio 1 2 1 2 audio. This is it's not on the complete top end, but it's up there, you know, where you guys operate. So I think you'll be happy with it. And see, you can't even hear that fan. You can hear these fans back here more than you can hear this one. But there's lots of like cracks and stuff around the case. There's a couple of big holes under here where we took out that old transformer. So I think there's going to be enough circulation, air circulation in there to where we ain't got to worry about it. If you lay your hand up here on the top, right there above that fan that's real hot, then we need to do something. But the fan's blowing right there. It's right underneath this part of the cover, right in there. Like I said, there's a couple of big holes underneath it. Let's see, can I get a shot of those? Kinda. You know, there's holes all up under there, so I think we'll be fine. Plus, you got the speaker holes over here. You know, I mean, that'll kind of filter the air. and plus the holes from taking the voltage regulator and stuff out of the big heat sink there in the back. So you should be fine. All right, I'm going to let it burn in for 24 hours, and then I'm going to box it up and ship it out. One last check. Now this is on high band. I got a 250 watt slug on the left, 500 watt slug on the right. On the meter on the left, we're reading on the top scale. Okay, that 5 right there is 50. The 10 is 100. On the right, we're reading on the center scale. 30 is 300, 40 is 400. Hello, audio. 1 2 1 2 audio. Audio, hello, hello, audio. Audio, hello. Okay. Now that's at 29215. This is the absolute lowest channel right here. Audio, hello, hello, audio. Audio 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. As you can see, I got it balanced out pretty damn close between the top and the bottom. All right, so shouldn't have any trouble getting out, and also I spread the receiver out from top to bottom, so receive on it should be good everywhere. All right, sure hope you enjoy your repaired radio. It was my pleasure to do it for you. 7-3, everybody.